Hey there, fellow travelers, Mark here with woltersworld, and today we're here in Austria, and today we're going to talk about is riding the trains. Specifically, we're going to talk about other do's, but specifically the don'ts of riding the trains here in Austria. And I got to tell you this, don't forget the trains in Austria will take you everywhere you want to go. If you want to see beautiful Salzburg or the mountains in Innsbruck, or head to fancy Vienna, or go to some of the smaller towns around this country, or explore the world tourism, the trains in Austria will take you there. So don't forget to enjoy the trains when you are here in Austria, because they're going to make your life so much better. Now, a big important time don't that's going to be very important when you're taking the trains here in Austria is don't forget to check the departure time, but also the arrival time, because not all the trains go at the same speed. There's multiple types of trains. For example, if you look on the board here in Innsbruck, it says, oh, there's a train directly to Salzburg Hauptbahnhof. That's the one I should take, because the next one that goes to Salzburg isn't for another half an hour. But if you read the departure and arrival times, you'll notice that the 8:50 train from Innsbruck takes 4 hours to get to Salzburg. Whereas if I take the train that goes to Vienna, that stops on Salzburg, it's only 1 hour and 46 minutes. And honestly, it does cost more to take those faster trains, but you save so much time, it is really worth it, especially if you're gonna take some day trips. Though I will say, make sure you don't forget to check which train station your train is departing from when you're gonna be going around Austria, because sometimes there's multiple stations in cities. Usually just have Hauptbahnhof, the main train station. That's that HBF you see, but other times there might be other stations you might leave from. So don't forget to check the station you're going to and you're getting out on, all right? So if you're in the train station, you always have the ÖBB Reisezentrum, or at least most of the major stations do have the travel center, and they can be very helpful. My don't for you on that is, don't be afraid to go in there and ask questions for connections or for your train tickets. They'll be very helpful there. A lot of times they do speak English as well, so that can be nice. But I will say, if you're going to be at a Salzburg or a Vienna during busy times, the lines can be insane. So my next don't leads into that. And that next don't is, don't pass up the little kiosk like this when you're buying tickets, because when you buy your tickets from here, it can be cheaper. Remember I talked about the Reisezentrum? They are helpful, and they actually said, hey, if you actually go out and buy your tickets to Salzburg from here in Innsbruck on the ticket machine, it'll actually save you some money. So, and if you're worried that it's going to be in German, yes, it is in German, but also you can choose English or Italian, so that can be helpful to switch it over. Very simple to use. Also, they do take American Express, Visa, MasterCard, even Diners Club, so you can use this. It's very simple. And it saves you from a lot of those lines, especially in the Reisezentrum, because sometimes when it's a busy weekend, the line can come out the door to get tickets, so do be aware of that. So a nice don't I have for you when you're looking to buy something on Sundays. Remember, in Austria, pretty much everything's closed on Sundays. But don't forget, on Sundays in the train station, the shops are open. So if you need to pick up a snack, I mean, restaurants are open everywhere during the weekends, but if you need to get like shopping kind of things, if you're in the train station, the shops will be open, so you can pick up stuff there. That's why sometimes you'll notice that there's a little more shops than you expect in a train station when you're here in Austria than other parts of the world, because hey, everything else is closed on Sunday, but if it's at the train station to be open, they're going to make it open. Another thing that's important to remember, if you're going to be traveling on the weekends or during the holidays, don't be afraid to get a seat reservation so you know you have a spot. Because you don't actually have to have seat reservations on trains in Austria. You can just get on the train with your ticket and you'll be fine. However, if you want to make sure you have a seat, you'll want to make sure you get that seat reservation. It does cost more, so you have to pay a little bit extra for that seat reservation. But for that peace of mind, it can be very helpful, especially if you're traveling during the holidays or on a Friday or Saturday, you know, when it's busy, when people are going around the country, going to visit their families on the weekends. It can just avoid that stress. So don't be afraid to do that. You don't always have to do it. Most of the time you're okay, but on those busy days, yeah, don't forget, for a few extra euros to get that seat reservation, very helpful. Now, another thing that's great about Austria is that trains go all over the place. So if you want to do day trips, you can do it. And you may think, I have all these luggage, what do I do with it? Well, don't forget, some of the major stations, the bigger stations, actually have these lockers that you can rent out. So you can come drop off your bags for here for the day, go see Innsbruck, then hop back on the train and keep on going. So don't forget to use these. They're not in every train station, but check and see. It can be very helpful. Hey, a little safety don't when it comes to the escalators at the train stations here. You'll notice sometimes people just stop right at the top with all the luggage and about run people over. So make sure when you come to the top of the escalator, keep on going down or get out of the way. Because you'd be surprised how many times I've seen people literally fall over other people on the escalator at the very top. So another thing I think is important when you're on the train in Austria is don't expect the friendly Austrians when you are on the train. Like, in general, Austrians aren't the most friendly, gregarious, outgoing people. When they take the train, it kind of ups the ante. Like, trying to get on and off the train, people are literally shoving and stuff. It's really, like, the line culture is incredibly bad when you're here. But also when you get on the train, if you have seat reservations or not, an open seat that you just ask, could I sit there? Don't be surprised if someone's asking, well, let me see your ticket. Do you have a reservation? Let me see your reservation. If you have a reservation for that seat. And I'm not talking the conductors, because the conductor is actually very nice on the Austrian trains. I'm talking the actual Austrians that are sitting there. It's insane. So do be ready for the not as nice Austrians, okay? Because yeah, don't expect nice Austrians on the train. Now, when you're on the train, I do have some other don'ts for you. One, don't be loud. Like, I'm here in this empty hallway outside between trains, wagons, so I'm not annoying anybody when I film, because they like it quiet on the train. There's actually Ruhewagen, which is like quiet, still wagons as well. So there's like really a thing that you don't make noise, you don't talk very loud, you don't listen to your music when you're on the train. That's one of the things. Go to the restaurant car if you want to like get rambunctious, let's say. That's one thing. Another thing is don't use your luggage. Don't use your luggage to save the seat next to you or put your luggage on the seat, because there's going to be people that are going to want those seats and they're going to ask, hey, can I sit here? Because they need that space. So just put it above. I mean, that's one thing you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about luggage space, because you can put it up above you. But I will say this, don't have too heavy a luggage when you're in the ÖBB, because here in Austria you got to lift your luggage up above your head and put it above your seat. It's not behind your seats or below your seats, okay? So do be aware of that. But yeah, the people that put the luggage like in the seat next to them so no one sits there, don't be afraid to ask, ist das frei? Is this free? And then they'll give you the seat there, so you have that. I know there was a lady that I was getting my dad a seat. I'm like, ist das frei? She goes, eigentlich ja, like anyways, I guess yes. I'm like, okay, then sit there, don't worry about it. But don't be one of those people that puts your back there and tries to keep you from sitting there, because it will be taken, because there are seats that are there. And that's one thing I know I said, don't forget about getting reservations, but because I will say this, even if you get first class seats, it doesn't guarantee you a seat, okay? So you may pay double the price for first class and not have a seat, so make sure you get those seat reservations. So don't forget when you want to get off the train, don't forget you got to push the green button to open the doors. Sometimes it's nice big ones, sometimes they're on the door here, or there might be a handle, because usually the train doors do not open on their own, so you do need to have to push it. Same thing on the outside, there's a button there, so if you're standing waiting for it to go, like, why can't I get out? Don't forget to push the button to get out. I know it seems silly, but you'll be surprised how many tourists forget that they have to do that. So I gotta tell you this, if you're gonna be on the train, you need to use a toilet. Don't worry, you can use a toilet, but don't always expect it to be super clean. That's what I'm telling you. Don't pass up using those paid toilets at the train stations, because they get cleaned more often and they're usually pretty nice. So maybe don't forget to go before you go on the train. But you can use toilets here. They're not always this nice though. The thing is, some people want to use the toilet to kind of hide out in because there's no seats available. Don't do that. If you can't find a place to sit on the train, maybe, don't forget, you can go to the restaurant car. Maybe you can find a seat there, because there's no seat reservations in the restaurant or bar car. Get a drink, just sit there, read your newspaper. I mean, usually they don't even ask if you want anything. You're kind of free to be there, so something to kind of think about. And also, you don't really have to worry too much about your luggage when you're on the train here in Austria. Austria's a very safe country, and the train is the same way. I will say this though, don't put your luggage in a different wagon when you're there. Do at least keep your eye on it so you can at least see it, but you don't have to be worried about it like in some other places. So yeah, you don't have to worry too much when you're on the train. That's kind of a nice thing here. So another thing I have to tell you, don't forget to look. If you're on one of those faster trains that's going between Vienna and Salzburg or Innsbruck, a lot of times those fast trains will have these signs up that'll tell you where your wagon's going to be. So if you have your seat reservation, you can look and see where you're going to be. So we're in wagon 23, and it says, oh, wagon 23 is going to be at 3D. Look, we're at 3D right over there, so we don't have to go running to look and try to catch our train or get the right wagon. Or the worst one is trying to drag your luggage through, 10 cars to get there. So make sure you check this out. It makes life a lot easier if you have your seat reservations. And if you don't, it tells you where the first and second class cabins are, so you make sure you know where to be. So hope that don't help. So yeah, don't forget to check out where your seat's going to be. So a don't I have when you're taking the Austrian trains, especially if it's on the weekends or Friday afternoons, is don't forget to look at the delay button as well, because sometimes they're not on time. It's not all the time, but apparently quite a few today, so just have a heads up for that. That's why it's important, if you got close connections, be careful with that, all right? If you miss them, make sure you go and talk to the people. They'll tell you what other train to take, because when you're here, you buy the ticket, you have a ticket, and the seat reservation is separate, so the ticket can still be valid for the next train, so do be aware of that. Oh, if you get first class tickets with reservations, you actually can go into the OBB lounge and relax for a little bit, half hour before your train. Now, I do have to tell you this, don't expect the trains in Austria to be cheap. Yes, they do go everywhere and you're going to have to use them. Yes, there's beautiful views, but yeah, they are expensive, so do be ready for that. Don't think it's going to be a super budgety thing, but I do have some don'ts to help you save some money when you're taking the trains, because you're going to want to go all over this beautiful country. And one don't I have is don't forget to book early, because literally we're talking like half the price. If you're going to Salzburg to Vienna, I mean, it's half the price if you're booking it a month out versus booking on the day of. So don't forget to buy your tickets early, because if you buy your tickets early, like if you already have your vacation to Austria planned, you know where you're going to go, you can go to the website of the UBB and you actually book your tickets online, so you can already have them on your phone, already have it, you know, printed out if you want, and it's there. But what's cool is like you're going from Salzburg to Austria. Like I was just looking it up and it was like, if you buy the day of, it's like 60 euros on, you know, the fast train, the rail jet, versus if I booked it like a month ahead, it's like 28, 30 euros. So it's like half the price. So if you know those dates, book the tickets beforehand so it's already set up, get your seat reservation so you have it and it's already there. And so you're saving yourself quite a bit of cash. Another thing, if you're going to be staying in Austria for a while, you can actually get, don't forget, you can get one of the, how would I say this, the discount cards. You know, basically you become like a member of the UBB and you can get discounts on your tickets. Now, if you're only going to be here for, you know, you're going to take a few trains, probably not worth doing it. But if you're going to be here for a while and you're going to do a lot of trains, you might look at picking up that discount card when you get here at the Reise Central that we talked about, and you have it and you're saving your money that way, okay? So I hope these don'ts of the rail travel here in Austria get you excited to actually go take the trains, because honestly, here in Austria, you got to take the trains because it's a gorgeous ride. It's comfortable. It goes all over. Yeah, maybe it's not always on time perfectly, but it does better than a lot of other places. So have a great time when you're riding the rails here in Austria, and I'll say bye from here, somewhere between Innsbruck and Salzburg.